Many whales undergo long-distance, round-trip migrations from summer feeding grounds at high latitudes, where there is seasonally abundant prey, to winter breeding and calving areas at low latitudes, where there is little food available to them. But some whales undergo migrations that follow a different pattern, such as the formation and retreat of sea ice. And in another species of whale, the whales migrate and the females and calves and young males don't. In all cases, the migrations cover thousands of kilometres and can last for many months. Why exactly some whales undergo these huge migrations has been long debated. The most popular reason put forward for the whale's migration is the calf thermoregulation hypothesis. That is, that newborn calves need to be born in warm waters so that they don't get too cold and die. But this should not be a problem for newborn calves of large whales. And some whales, for example bowheads and other Arctic species, give birth in cold waters and they survive. Another reason, and the topic of a paper published in 2019, is that they travel to warmer waters so that their skin can molt. In cold water, whales conserve their body heat by diverting blood away from their skin. This has the consequence of reducing the regeneration of new skin cells. In warm water, the whales can increase circulation of blood to the skin, which enables them to generate new skin cells and shed the old ones. Arctic whales that do not undergo migrations into tropical waters are known to find slightly warmer waters in the summer within the Arctic and use rocks to exfoliate their skin. It is an interesting hypothesis and deserves further investigation. No matter what the reason for their enormous migrations, migrate they do. The first whale I'm going to tell you about is the largest animal on the planet. The mighty blue whales live in all the major oceans of the world except the Arctic. There are 5 subspecies that occur in different ocean basins, and these subspecies are further subdivided, giving 9 recognised management units. 4 of the subspecies, the Antarctic blue whale, Northern Indian Ocean blue whale, pygmy blue whale, and the Chilean blue whale, all migrate south to Antarctic waters to feed, whilst the subspecies, the northern blue whale, migrate north to find their food. One of the management units of this northern subspecies is the Eastern North Pacific blue whale. Every year from June through to October, the Eastern North Pacific blue whales migrate to central California waters to feed, and one of the prime feeding areas is in Monterey Bay National Marine Sanctuary. They are often found near the edges of the submarine canyon found in Monterey Bay, where krill, their prey, tend to concentrate. The population then travels back south for breeding and calving, a round trip of about 5,000 kilometres. Young calves are regularly observed in the Gulf of California from December through March. It is believed that this area is an important calving and nursing area for the species, although their exact breeding and calving areas remain a mystery. In Monterey Bay, scientists made an amazing discovery. They tagged 15 blue whales and recorded around 4,000 songs. These songs revealed that in the summer, the whales spent much of their daytime feeding and sang 3 times more at night than during the day. But once they actually started migrating, they sang 3 times more during the day than the night. It is hoped that after further analysis, it could be possible to predict the whales' migration and warn shipping lanes further down the coast that the whales are on their way and so avoid collisions. Just how awesome is that? Another species that undergoes the iconic north-south migration is the humpback whale. They live in all the oceans of the world, and there are 14 distinct populations. They spend the winter in their low-latitude calving and breeding grounds, and the summer in their feeding grounds at high latitudes, travelling around 8,000 kilometres a year. They return to the same location to feed and breed each year, probably as this was where their mothers took them before they were weaned. It was believed that humpback whales adopted the feast or famine approach to migration, but whales from the eastern coast of Australia, west coast of Africa, and the east and west coasts of South America have all been observed to suspend their migration in order to feed. This foraging en route is thought to supplement the energy needed for the migration and enable the whales to refuel energy reserves before they reach their Antarctic feeding grounds. They have, after all, not eaten for months. But not all humpbacks migrate. There is a subpopulation in the Arabian Sea which doesn't leave these waters. This subpopulation is on the IUCN Red List as endangered with an estimate of only 82 individuals remaining. Another species of whale that migrates is the sperm whale, but they are interesting in that the females, calves and young males don't migrate, but the males do. Again, sperm whales are found in all oceans of the world, but they are concentrated in deep offshore areas of the world's oceans, typically in water over 400 metres deep along continental slopes and ridges. When a young male reaches about the age of 4, it will leave the mother's pod and forms bachelor schools with similar sized males. As the males grow older, the groups they occur in shrink in size until very large males become solitary. Female groups have around 12 individuals, including their calves and young males. These groups have strong bonds, but females have been observed to move groups, and groups will merge together for periods of time. These groups do not make seasonal migrations and are better described as nomadic, as they will move in response to changes in food abundance. In the southern hemisphere, these female groups inhabit the warmer waters north of 45 degrees south, while the mature males of around 27 years old have periodic migrations from the lower latitude feeding grounds to higher latitude feeding grounds in the Antarctic. At lower latitudes, the males move within a breeding area of a few hundred kilometres across as they visit and revisit resident groups of females. In the North Atlantic, females tend to be found below a latitude of 40 degrees, whereas the males can be found as far north as Svalbard. Bowhead whales are another species that undergo migrations. They live almost exclusively in Arctic and subarctic waters, and their migrations are not to tropical waters to breed and calve, but are determined by the condition of the sea ice. Winter is spent near the southern limit of the pack ice, and they move further north as the sea ice breaks up and recedes during the spring. There are 4 stocks of bowhead whales currently recognised and reside in different areas. The one I'm going to tell you about is found in the Bering, Chukchi and Beaufort Seas, and they usually overwinter in the North Bering Sea and then begin to migrate northward and then eastward in the early spring as the ice retreats, opening up ice leads. They spend the summer foraging in the eastern Beaufort Sea, including the Amundsen Gulf and north of Banks Island. Once the sea ice starts to form again, they return to the Bering Sea, completing a round trip of about 6,000 kilometres. But this all changed in the winter of 2018 and 2019, when the whales overwintered in their summer foraging area. It has been established that ice concentration in this area was less than usual and could be the reason they decided not to migrate. But exactly why this happened is still being debated, as are the consequences to the bowheads and their ecosystem in the context of global climate change. I have found this a fascinating topic to research, and there is still so much that is not known about these amazing whales and the extraordinary journeys that they make. The ocean is such an expanse that it is still keeping some secrets from us, and whales spend a lot of time beneath the surface. But with technologies such as satellite tagging and drones, we are slowly revealing those secrets. And the more we learn about their migrations, the more we can do to try and protect these awesome creatures. There are also a few whale migrations that I have not discussed yet. Perhaps I will have to do a part 2.